Truth isn't trendy, it's eternal, positioning Israel doctrine as timeless and unshakable. I don't follow the crowd, I follow the covenant. Separates the movement from popular culture. The streets talk, I correct them. Asserts authority and credibility in debates. Israel doctrine, where facts cut deeper than feelings. Appeals to logic over emotion. If it's not scripture, it's just opinion. Keeps focus on the Bible as the foundation. I'm not here to be liked, I'm here to be right. Bold, confident tone that builds respect. This isn't religion, this is restoration. Shifts the brand from dogma to revival of truth.
Peace, everyone. How you doing? The title is God and the Power, revealing in ways you never expect. Because there's a new YouTube street anthem. God and the power, God and the power, God and the power, God and the power. I know y'all gonna be trying to get out there and rap it. God and the power. Very similar to money and the power, money and the power. Yep, I got it like that because I got God and the power. But we're going to talk a little bit here, people. We're going to play a little audio. We're not going to show no faces. We're going to play the audio, no music. Let's get this started.
Hey everybody, my name is Mr. Khalil Amani, and this is Khalil Amani's World. Welcome back. We finished our series, 11 parts on Judas Iscariot. What an amazing and exciting series that was.
Now, see, it's only God that gave me the revelation that when dealing with this government informant, he may be something else. I don't know, but that's what I'm alleged he is because he ain't been on TV saying he's a government informant. But when dealing with this guy, shitty blood, man, y'all would never imagine the things that I run into and get acknowledgement and assurance and everything from God about this guy. He think he knows something about me because he's been studying me for 8 years. But like I said early in this thing, when I got on YouTube, I never let anybody into my mental space. You can see how I react to things and do stuff, but I never let anyone in my mind. You don't know what winds me up. You don't know what makes me click. You don't know if I can do things or not. So like he say, sometimes I say I'm a government informant, sometimes I say I'm not this and that. Well, I know how to play the mental games too, nitwit.
Yeah. If you like talking about Bible stuff, you really should go back and just look at my series on Judas Iscariot.
See, people may have watched that series. I didn't ever watch it because his Bible conversation is shit. He don't know shit about the Bible. They even wrote books about it and stuff. That's why he won't bring his ass over here and debate me. Because he know I put a foot in his ass if he want to talk some Bible and stuff. But I ain't never sweating it.
But we're back and we're here to talk about redemption. Redemption. Yeah, there is redemption for all. I actually wrote an essay in my book here. Let me put my glasses on. I just thought about this.
So he got a book. Now I be talking about born again, this, that, and everything else. He don't know a damn thing about it. I said I'm born again. I'm an Israelite. The Hebrew Israelite, Israel doctrine. See, he's a fucking clown.
Redemption for all. Yeah, redemption. See, in my autobiographical work, I wrote a chapter in the very last thing called Redemption for All. Afterward, redemption for all. Redemption for all. I wrote that because I was talking about my cult leader and stuff like that. But I want to talk specifically about this idea of the government informant. Because hip hop, young Black America, urban America has it twisted. They have it twisted. And I want to talk about it because I, in fact, was a government informant once upon a time, dating back to almost 40 years ago. Some say,
now we're going to get educated by a government informant. Now we're going to get educated on why people become snitches, how they become snitches, and how possibly he became a snitch. He's probably telling this story, but hey, hello.
Hey, Carl.
Who this? Yes, what's up? I'm doing a show. I don't have time to speak right now. What's going on?
This morning. I'll get you back later.
All right. Woo! Now, I forgot exactly what I was saying. I don't know why this the time of the day people be wanting to call. I did it before 5 before people call. But anyway, let's get back to it.
True, and it might not be true. But I want to talk to you and give you some real conversation outside of the mythologies, the ghetto pathology, the ghetto thinking about this whole idea of, a government informant. As we have it, most people would hear the word government informant and think that it's something sinister, something bad, a snitch, a rat, those kinds of words. That's what they think. Because we only know what we hear on TV, in the movies, the ideals that we hear about what it means to be a government informant through rap music and lyrics and stuff like that. The government informant has always been associated with the mafiosos, with that kind of stuff, and gangsters telling on other gangsters. That's all well and true. But there's another kind of government informant, such as myself, a civilian, who happened to get caught up into something and decided to do something about it.
Now you hear that? A civilian. Selling drugs and robbing people don't make you a civilian, people. That's not the pathology and all the other slick shit he been trying to say. If you out there selling drugs and you get caught up, you're a criminal. And if you tell on anybody that's doing more criminal shit than you, you're a snitch. Yes? No? Talk to me. Tell me what it is. That's why he will never talk to me. That's why he won't talk to me, because he know I'm going to get down on him. That's the new terminology on these YouTube streets is, I'm a shit on him. Now, I didn't come up with that term, but I will make it popular because that's the new terminology that I use in these YouTube streets. When niggas think they bigger than me and better than me and everything, I just take a shit on them. That's how I do. That's my methodology. That's my modus operandi and all that other slick shit people be trying to say. But let's get back to listening to them.
That's right. We're talking about what it means to be a government informant and the redemption from that life and moving forward. There's this ideal that's floating around out there that as a government informant, any and everything you do after that, the government had a hand in it.
Yeah, that comes from me. He called himself trying to answer me. He went to school, paid all that college tuition and stuff. The government didn't pay none of it. He worked hard and did it on his own. Yeah, right.
It's not true. I said there's this silly, ignorant notion that once you cooperate with the FBI, once you cooperate with the local authorities and the federal authorities, once you cooperate, everything you do after that in life, 10 years later, 20 years later, 30 years later, 40 years later, 50 years later, whatever you do in life after cooperating with the FBI, with the authorities, whatever you do, whatever achievements you do as a person, as a human being, they are somehow connected to the FBI.
Is that not true, people? He's saying I have a city notion and I have no sense in everything. You've been in a fraternity before the FBI, this, that, and the other. You know, I would even question if you were informant. You may be an undercover agent. You may be working directly with the FBI. Are you or are you not?
And that the government had a hand in your success. It's a falsity. It's a misnomer. It is a myth. It is a lie. For the government is never that invested in government informants to the point of babying them or coddling them or making sure that they succeed in life. They just aren't.
So they don't give you a government stifle. They don't give you money. They don't put you on the government welfare system. They don't deal with you at all. But now if you work with the government, they will send you to school. I was talking to somebody the other day about Veteran Day. And I got 3 brothers, they veterans and stuff. But you know, if they could have had it their way, they would have never been veterans. People going to the military, black people, I don't know about white people, black people going to the military because they want to go to college. They want to better themselves. And that GI Bill does it for them. So I would argue that they don't go into the army to be veterans. And the benefits of fighting for the country and all of that. This is the stuff that people lie to you about and tell you. That's why they make these days up and do all that stuff. Now, back in the days when the Europeans was doing this stuff, see, they was fighting for country, state, and all. Because you know what? They was running it. They didn't want nobody else to run it. That's what the Europeans always do. They always fight for leadership of who gonna run Satan Minion. Or people, or however you want to say it.
The government, once they are done with the government informants, basically they're on their own. Good riddance. May you live a long and prosperous life. And may we not see you on this side again under no negative circumstances.
See what he's doing? He's trying to build a story up to say the government didn't help me in my college. The government didn't help me in that. Once again, like I said, I would question if he is a government informant because he may be on the payroll. Because the things he has accomplished, I believe the government paid for him. Because number one, when we was talking, he was telling how, and he got a couple of videos out there where he tell they had to switch my name. They had to go get my old credits from my old school under Lord Rodney Clark and turn them to Khalil Ashanti, the name he had before he was Khalil of Money. Now, who was doing all this? And How long did they do it? Meaning they were still in his life. They were still occupying his living spaces and quarters and everything else that dealt with him. His second wife, she left. Maybe, I don't remember, I had a stroke. She left because she got tired of the stuff. She didn't want to be Ashanti no more. She probably then switch over to money. That's when the divorce happened. I'm tired of this shit, man. Running around with your snitch ass. Hey.
So I want to talk about that a little bit. And I'm going to give you some examples of government informants who have gone on to be great people in life. That's right. I can say for a certainty that most people don't understand the role of a government informant. Yes, there are government informants who were, blood and crip and gang members and, mafiosos who went out and got themselves in hot water, got themselves in trouble. And to get out of trouble and to lessen their time in jail or in prison, they decide to turn snitch and rat. We all know that archetype.
See, we all know that archetype, that motif, that is, that whatever he's saying after this. We all know that. The most ignorant person in the world knows that's how most people become government informants. Most people don't know about the 5K1. Most people don't know about cases being put in death situations where it's dead. As long as you do what we say, you stop doing what we say, we're going to make this case live again. We're going to resurrect it.
We all know that motif. We all know that model of the classical rat and the classical snitch.
So you know how most people nowadays do it? When your case is in death status, yet if you don't do what we say, we gonna make it live, and then we gonna lock your ass up. Can you see that case if it's dead? Is it on the paper work when it's dead? Can somebody pull that paperwork up in jail or whatever? You gotta be in the government to do that. You got to have government ties to be able to do stuff like that. But we'll deal with it another day, another time.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about another kind of government informant. Even a government informant that got in trouble.
Got in trouble? Who we talking about?
But realized the error of their ways. And they.
Oh, but I realized the errors of my ways because I'm a government informant. Listen to what he's saying and put it in that perspective. I'm a government informant. I realize the errors of my ways, this, that, and the other. I need redemption.
Make right. You see, it's a weird thing that people can go to prison for murder and, thievery and vandalism and other crimes. And they are forgiven when they come home. The man that murders another man, doing a bank robbery, doing a store robbery, doing a physical altercation, whatever.
Now, he got robbery in his history. He has drug dealing in his history.
That man will go to prison for murder, and he will do his time, and he will come home, and all is forgiven. His family accepts him. Society accepts him. There's no label on his back other than being an ex-felon But the stigma of being a murderer, and coming home from prison is not that great. You can get yourself together. And the person that murders in his teens or 20s or even 30s, he goes to prison, he turns his life around. He comes out, he becomes a model citizen, and he never commits any more criminality. And he's loved and beloved by his family. And
now notice you hear this story. He gonna say, but the snitch. Now I ain't really watched this since the time he did this, which is when I downloaded this back in 2024. Right? So we're gonna keep listening.
And he can go on and write a book or tell a story on TV or even do a movie about his life of crime, and it's all good.
Now, notice in my Murder Doctrine of 5K1 series, sister series, that we speak about people in jail right now. Kenneth Supreme, Hassan Campbell, and all these type of people, and how he want to write books for these type of people, which is no alleged anything. He ever since he known Hassan, I can get you on. I can write your books. I can help you get on the TV and all of that. Stop shunning away from me. Come, sit at my feet. I can Papa Bear you through all of this. That's what him, Troy Star Terrain, Layla Wheels, and all these people then did. We'll lead you to the riches. I told Hassan, go get you a house, a building, and something and help the youth. Go get you an organization, blah, blah, blah. Sarnetta said, you're the only one told him that. And shit, it makes sense to me. Nobody ever told him that because they don't give a fuck if he helped children. He was never out here to help children.
A person like Hassan Campbell that we all know in these social media streets tells us proudly and boastfully that he was arrested 3 times for murder. And it's almost a badge of glory, a badge of honor, a red badge of courage. I said Hassan Campbell can tell us that he was arrested 3 times for the act of unaliving or murdering somebody. And he says it like it's not a bad thing. He says it like it is redemptive. He says that he was charged with murder 3 times, and there's some redeeming qualities about that. He gets kudos and street credibility. He gets to tell a story and blow up and be on the likes of Vlad TV and academics and, Sonetta. Everybody wants to talk to him, even though he boasts that he was charged with 3 murders.
Even though I say he took a picture to go marry the little Puerto Rican boy that he wrote a gay Africa Bambaataa date rape. Because he was trying to put him in the LGBTQIA. At that time, I was putting a P on it, plus community. He said, oh, no, we ain't doing that. What was they doing in California, people? What was they doing in California? We'll speak about it another day, another time.
And he beat him. And then you got someone like Khalil Amani who's out here, never murdered nobody, never hurt a man in my life. But because I walked into the FBI Boulevard in Miami, Florida in 1986, and began to expose a religious cult.
A Hebrew Israelite cult. That's why he chose to come on here and feel he had a right to sound a Hebrew Israelite. Wouldn't have you ever heard me say I was a Hebrew Israelite? I've never said that. I never said I was an X. I never said I was one. Nothing. I said I came into the wisdom and knowledge and understanding that when God baptized them people, they was born again. And when I say them people, I'm talking about the mixed multitude and the Hebrews. When he washed their tails, they became born again of God. Not of their mama, not of their father, not of sex, none of that stuff. It's a spiritual thing. You know why a spirit? Because God is spirit. And you must worship him in spirit and truth. That's why I put out a little thing. I was like, Israel doctrine don't F with Hebrew Israelites. All I do is argue and fight with Hebrew Israelites because I tell them, I say, you know, you can't read that in the Bible, this, that, and the other. And they all kick. I ain't heard one of them yet say, well, I ain't got to be no Hebrew Israelite. Well, fuck it, I'm just Israel. I ain't heard one saying yet, fuck it, I'm Israel. No, they say, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. What you talking about, man? I don't want, what the fuck you talking about, Carl? What the hell? And they get frustrated and stuff and get all emotional, and man, I can't fuck with them type of people.
I wear the stigma of rat. I wear the stigma of government informant. I wear the stigma of snitch. I'm always explaining myself. I'm always saying I wasn't a street dude. What I did with the government, with the FBI, it was some civilian stuff. I gotta explain myself. And even when I explained myself that I was a civilian who testified against a cult leader.
A civilian that was pushing drugs all up and down the East Coast. A civilian that was robbing people. He just said that shit before he got into this portion of it because he was a robber. Might not have murdered nobody, may not went to jail. I've never said he went to jail, but he said, if I take him to court for calling me a Hebrew Israelite, he gonna bring that shit up. Cool. Once again, I ask questions. I ain't never made no statement that said your bitch ass went to jail. Because I ain't never heard your bitch ass say you went to jail. So why would I say something I never heard?
At 63, damn near 64 years old, I still wear the stigma of rat and snitch. It doesn't bother me, don't get it wrong. I sleep well at night. I am well insulated with good family and friends and stuff like that. And many of you on YouTube are my YouTube friends and associates that actually understand my narrative and my story.
Go by that autobiography. It's going to tell you he was selling drugs. It is own handwriting, his autobiography. It's going to talk about robbing in that autobiography. See, I've been around long enough to hear the autobiography and pretty much got videos of him reading and saying that shit. I even got him lying saying Yahweh was going to sleep with his daughter, but his daughter was at his mother-in-law house. Yahweh might have been a bad motherfucker, but he wasn't finna go fuck that girl in her grandma's house.
But the murderer, or the convicted murderer, or the accused murderer, like Hassan Campbell, it's a badge of courage. It's street credibility to talk about being charged with murder 3 times. No one looks at Hassan Campbell and go, oh, you know, he was charged with murder 3 times. He's a murderer. No. They look at him, they glorify him. They look at Khalil Amani. Oh, he's a rat. Oh, he's a snitch. Oh, he cooperated with the FBI. Woo.
Because y'all know what this is, right? And why this shit go along. Because if you a killer person, you ain't gonna fuck with the government. If you go rap, you're fucking with the government. And I'd rather fuck with the killer before I fuck with somebody to go rap and tell shit. Because they'll get your ass locked up. That killer, he might kill your ass, but hey, you ain't gonna go get locked up. So yes, it's street code and different shit, but it's out there because you're doing shit you don't have no business doing. And any motherfucker that go tell your story instead of telling their story and taking their time and shit, like I'm in the South, niggas be riding around or whatever, and I'll be like, nigga, is you hot? Because if motherfucker stop this car, you gonna take your shit like a man should. That's your shit. But that's the life you live. If you're a criminal and you get caught, you can't tell on another criminal. That's just, it make common sense. To me, it make common sense, and I ain't never been no criminal.
You get what I'm saying? It's weirdo. I say we got our priorities all messed up as a nation of black folks. We got our priorities messed up.
Y'all should love a person like me. I was doing crime and I went told on another criminal.
The man that stands up to criminality, like myself, has to wear the lifelong label of rat and snitch for doing a just thing, for doing the right thing.
It was an unjust thing. You did a small crime and told on a bigger crime and get your small crime erased off the books. If they not erased off the books, what can I go find? I would like to see them. You can talk about it since you love chasing up behind my conversation.
But our society, I'm talking about black folk in general, black folk specifically, excuse me, black folk specifically, we got our priorities all discombobulated. The man like Khalil Amani, who should be praised, is rejected. Now, there are good people in the world. There are smart people in the world. There are great people in the world. There are educated people in the world who understand my story and what I did, and that it was a just thing. It was.
So y'all understand the story? When I interviewed him, Yahweh was gonna fuck my daughter. He already had took my wife, and I don't know where his penis been, but might been in the mouth and anus, wherever. But I couldn't have him sexually active with my daughter. That's why I told him. He don't even tell that fucking lie no more. He don't even tell that lie no more, but that's the first lie he told me. He been a liar ever since I met this nigga. During the time he met K. Slay, other shit was going on in hip hop. And like I said, everything is questionable now. Once you find out a nigga is a lying ass snitch rat bastard, you question everything he ever said. I do. Told me, I'm finna leave you and go over here with these niggas and I'm gonna lock them up and shit and everything. Cause he felt they was doing bad and shit. Then when I say the shit, he said, no, I didn't say it. Motherfucker, I know what you said. Why the fuck you up here lying? Cause you some bitch ass nigga. You a double-minded hoe.
Brave thing. It was the right thing to do. As I talked to the FBI about a man that was having a minimum of 14 people murdered. And so A book like this, Brother Love, Murder, Money, and a Messiah, written by one Sidney P. Freeberg.
Now, y'all know Donald Trump is going to court and shit with all these poet surprise writers and stuff, right? Because y'all know they use poet surprise people and everything else to legalize crime and tell y'all another story that isn't true. And if they do a good enough job, they can get a poet surprise for it. And the reason Donald Trump taking out people to court and stuff, because they wrote that Russia shit wrong. It's called false news, people. By lying ass people that do the things they do, criminals.
Won a Pulitzer Prize in 1991 for covering the Yahweh cult stuff down in Miami. She won the highest prize in literature outside of the Nobel Peace Prize, that is.
Now, at the same time, Project Megiddo. I learned about that a long time ago. When I ran into this nigga, guess who would help them and everything bring about Project Megiddo, fucking up Hebrew Israelites and radical ass niggas and shit. I'm dealing with him all the time. He keep trying to make me a Hebrew Israelite. Bitch ass nigga sit down and said, Israel doctrine is right. We shouldn't call ourselves Hebrew Israelites and all that shit. But he come out here and try to fuck with me. Because he know I'm an ignorant ass nigga. I can get mad real quick. But the thing is not the sin. Now I use profanity. I don't see it as no sin. You never heard me say don't come out here and curse. You ain't never heard me say that because I believe you can curse. I'll be a hypocrite or no good motherfucker if I came out here and said, we ain't supposed to be cursing this against God and all that other. Man, I'd be one of the worst motherfuckers in this world.
For covering this murderous Hebrew Israelite cult that I was a part of. And in writing this book, she tells my story, even going so far as putting pictures of me in her book. And so you all know my birth name. The name my mama and daddy gave me was Lloyd. So she sent me an autographed copy, and this is how she autographed it. She writes, 20 November 1994, to Lloyd, that's Khalil, the bravest man I know, Sydney. See it right there?
See, the truth of the matter is, Lord Rodney Clark died a long time ago. Khalil Amani and Khalil Ashanti came out. Them names were given to him by the government. He's been with the government ever since. He wouldn't even rebirth Lord Rodney Clark. Because if he did a movie, he gonna get paid on the Lord Rodney Clark or Khalil Amani. Our Moorish brothers, Shabir Bey can tell us because they had a little contract or something they was working out for him to turn on me, blah, 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 and everything else.
20 November 1994, to Lloyd, a.k.a. Khalil Amani, the bravest man I know, Sydney Freeberg, this lady right here, Sydney Freeberg. That's not the cover. And there is Sydney Freeberg. She autographs my book. She interviews me for her book. She puts pictures in her book of me, and she calls me the bravest man she knows. And if you read right here, you see she won 2 Pulitzer Prizes, one of them for covering the Yahwehs for the Miami Herald. There is no There is no award greater than the Pulitzer Prize when it comes to writing and journalism outside of the Pulitzer, other than, the
Now, obviously, there's a lot of lies in that book. And if Sidney Poitier, Freebird, or whatever, feel like she wanna address me on, I just go get Khalil book and say, why the fuck you didn't say he was selling drugs? Why the fuck you didn't say he was robbing people? Why you paint this glorious ass picture of this no good motherfucker here that wanted to fuck his mother and do a lot of shit? See, that's why he wanted to erase Lord Rodney Clark. That motherfucker died a long time ago. Because Lord Rodney Clark, wife got fucked by Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Lord Rodney Clark told me that Yahweh Ben Yahweh wanted to fuck his daughter. Lord Rodney Clark was living a very horrible life back then, following who he thought was God and Messiah and all that shit, because he was an ignorant motherfucker that wanted to fuck his mother, and his mother just died from cancer and shit. He didn't never get a chance to fuck her. It's just me fucking with him.
The Nobel Peace Prize for Literature. Other than that, this is it. This is it. This is the Oscar. This is the Grammy of literature. It's called the Pulitzer Peace Prize, and she won 2 of them. That's a real journalist, not a YouTube fake wannabe journalist. That's a real journalist. And she said this about me. I'm proud that she would write that I'm the bravest man that she knows.
Now, let me let y'all hear YouTube fake journalists and shit. Let me let y'all hear one. Let me let y'all hear one. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I gotta pull it up. See, when he say shit like that, he's talking about himself. Speaking for all underdogs, all he's saying now is, Carl, you can't read, you can't spell, you can't do this, you can't. But I'm an underdog. I came out here telling people I couldn't do that because I didn't want to be the big dog. Because if I ever fucked up, and they're gonna say, I thought you said you could do that. I heard you fuck up a whole sentence the other day. You couldn't spell this, you couldn't do that. So I said I couldn't do it. But I did plenty of things in this life where I didn't have to go take tests and shit to get jobs. So I've been in all kind of industry and shit. Never graduated high school. Said fuck a GED. Because I'm a certain type of person. I have a certain type of shit and everything. But listen to this. Where we at? Hold on, we ain't got this up. Let me get it so y'all can hear it. Y'all probably didn't hear it. If you couldn't hear it, let me know. But y'all, I know half of y'all will never speak to me. You don't want people to know you're over here listening to this raw and cut Israel doctrine shit. Damn, where is it? Oh, here it is.
Israel Doctrine, gatekeeper of the Africa Bambaataa narrative.
Is that not Khalil's voice? Is he not calling me the gatekeeper of the Africa Bambaataa narrative? But now you act like I'm a son of a bitch. I don't know this shit. I can't do shit. He's a motherfucking nobody and all that. But I was the gatekeeper. Thus says Khalil Amani. Oh, I fucked up. I didn't know. No, nigga, you told people who and what I was. And now you're like, well, he never had nothing to do with it. And he was doing this and he was stalking a woman and telling all kind of motherfucking lies and shit. because you didn't know who the fuck I was. Like most people don't know who the fuck I am. And because you was working in your carnal ass state of mind, you could never see the spiritual being that I am. But most people make that mistake. We're not gonna hold it against you. I don't even hold it against you. Like I said, shit. I appreciate you doing the shit you do. Because some shit I never get right if I'm not forced to get it right. I probably never spell shit right. I probably never do nothing right if don't nobody check me on it. Or I might just talk shit and they be like, I'm tired of talking to this stupid motherfucker. He won't get his shit right.
And she would go on to put pictures of me in her book as she told my story. There's one picture of me right there when I was like in my 31. That's Khalil Amani right there. And so my story is the most documented story in these YouTube streets. And so when you have other YouTubers that might want to bastardize my story.
He said, I bastardized his story. No, his story is 100% genuinely rolling off my tongue. He robbed motherfuckers. He sold drugs up and down the East Coast. Marion Barry from Washington, D.C. probably was smoking them drugs. You from Washington, your mama died because of drugs. This motherfucker killed them. Bringing the drugs up there so your mama can smoke them and die. Your father can smoke them and die. But he's saying he ain't never killed nobody or never did none of that. See, he don't have a vivid imagination. I have a vivid imagination. I can imagine any motherfucking thing. And don't shit in this world surprise me because I can go there visit. I done seen death. I done seen all kind of shit. So when I hear horror stories, it don't affect me like it affect most people. I speak to people. You ain't supposed to. The Lord said, thou shalt not kill. And if you go make a baby and then kill that baby, I don't give a fuck if somebody raped you. Your father could have raped you. It could have been some terrible. If the Lord allowed you to get pregnant, your job is not to kill that baby. Because there's no telling what that baby could do. You know how I know this and understand this? Because my mother said, I was on the abortion table. I was finna get rid of your ass. And you know what my little smart ass did when I found that knowledge out? I said, Mama, you see, if you would have got rid of me, who would have been here and taking care of you right now? Because you would have killed me off. And the other children you got, they wouldn't have took care of you. Like, I take care of you. Man, I done been through some shit. Life ain't no easy thing over here, boy.
Only the ignorant will pay attention and listen. But the smart ones, the intellectual ones, those of you who have your own mind, if you really sincerely want to know about me and my story, you won't pay attention to third and fourth hand information from people who just don't like me, who just don't like that I was a government informant, who just don't like the ideal that my story blew up, landing me on 6 national TV shows.
I'm the man. If you snitching, you told for a reason, why do you have to go on a fucking TV show? Why you want people to blow you up now and all this type of stuff? Why you bragging about it? Why you coming out in the public and saying, well, I'm no longer a government informant and shit? Don't nobody know who the fuck you are unless you tell them. That's how I felt when he came on my show and discredited my show because he said, I was running with a government informant. Everybody was saying I was running with a government informant. That's what he did. That's his legacy. He fucked up my whole YouTube career in one sit down saying he was a government informant. Sarnetta, Michael Edwards, everybody and their mama attacked me. If you was a fucking snitch, you should have never brought your ass out here and told me you the motherfucker that wrote the this and that and me talk to you about it and anything. Then you told me you was a homosexual lover and all that shit, and I asked you to debate and shit. You did the bitch thing. Yeah, I'm going to debate you. You the first motherfucker I'm going to debate. He debated JJ 7000 and Polite. Motherfucker kept running from me to the point where I said, nigga, you wanted to fuck you, which Michael Edwards brought it out first. I brought it out because he kept chasing up behind me. Nigga, you wanted to fuck your mother. Matter of fact, I'm going to put that shit out here on the YouTube streets now. But he want to beef with me because I had to try to bag his bitch ass up. And everything I did, he hate me for it now. Well, the nigga did it. All you had to do was debate me and leave me the fuck alone. Take your motherfucking whooping. You're a professor now. You was just Khalil Money back then. Now you're a professor. You don't know. Sarnetta Tulich, which brought us Umar Johnson, Polite, and all the fucking scammers in the black community. Because I got the bitch away from me. I said, you can go over there with Sarnetta. Sarnetta was talking about the guy that killed Fred Hampton and all that shit. Because he was on sometime black TV show or whatever. And I was like, Sarnetta, y'all ain't got to talk about him. Interview the motherfucker. And sent him over there to Sarnetta. Sarnetta said, this is my teacher now. This, that. Sarnetta ain't never been called one that runs with a snitch. None of that shit. That shit don't hurt DJ K. Slay. That shit don't hurt Whack 100 and all that shit. He don't talk about that though. A song could talk about murdering people and shit good. But you run with Whack 100, shit good. You ran with DJ K. Slay, shit was good. You running with people and all. I mean, really, you telling who are all in the community got that dead ass law work or whatever. People hold this shit above them, nigga. We're gonna turn this shit, make it live. I don't know, y'all.
They don't like it. And you know what they say? Here's the weirdo. Here's the weirdo stuff. Everything I've done since cooperating with the FBI, everything I've done in the last almost 40 years, they accredited my successes in life to the FBI. I don't know you heard me, Junior. There are people out there,
Israel doctrine,
that because Khalil Amani went on to be successful, that I did okay in life, they would accredit my wins in life. You know, WINS, wins. They accredit the fact that I actually lived a long and bountiful and fruitful life. They accredited my success, my life successes, to being a government informant.
Well, the Yahwehs would have killed you if the government wouldn't have been there. If they wouldn't have hid you under Khalil Ashanti, me and Khalil Amani, change your social and all that, how could you have lived? He's talking about me, talking about him and the successes and his wins and all the other shit he using that snake ass tongue to say. But I'm finna be through with this show, y'all, and gave y'all an album.
Yeah, there are people that think that way. They really believe that the government, that the FBI, is that invested in me. The thousands of government informants that are in the country today, and the thousands that will come along later. There are people that believe that the FBI is so fully immersed and invested in our lives that almost 40 years after I have been a government informant, they are still actively making sure that I live a good life. There are people that think that because
well, you work for German company, though they deal with medicine and stuff. It's a German company. How do you get a title like that? Who go to school for medical shit and work for the Germans, who pretty much dealt with the Nazis and all that? Oh, we not even gonna.
my grandkids and my daughter moved out of my house, and I got my office space back, and I painted the walls and put my credentials and awards and achievements on the wall and put my books behind me. They think that the government did that. I ain't lying, Junior. There are people that accredit everything you do to the government. It's a fact. Now
That's it, people. Y'all have a good night. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the show, the conversation. Listen to the liar. We're gonna bust them lies up in the future. We just question.